Hi, Coach Joe Lukacs, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. For nearly 30 years, I've been focused on helping advisors become the best both personally and professionally. This show is dedicated to sharing with you tools, tips, strategies, distinctions, things that are working now. I'd love for you to take a moment, and if you're watching this on YouTube, click the like button and also the subscribe button so you get automatic updates. And if you happen to be listening to us on a podcast, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and you leave a positive review for us. Now, with that said, let's get to today's episode. Hi, it's your coach, Joe Lukacs, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. I've got a question for you. Why do advisors charge the fees that they do? So in essence, why do you charge what you do? And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I just got back several days ago from spending 12 wonderful days in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I was able to get back on the road again, able to host live meetings with my clients. So we did two separate mastermind groups in Scottsdale, and I also spoke at a conference of other advisors. So it was really a powerful 12 days for me. And inside of one of those meetings, one of my mastermind meetings, the subject came up about fees, like what to charge for things. So this is why I want to spend some time talking to you all about today. In my experiences, and look, this is going to be a very interesting question I'm going to ask you. Why did you set the fee schedule that you did? So whether it's financial planning fees or asset management fees or retainer-based fees or subscription-based fees, how did you come up with the fees? And when I asked that question, and I asked that question out loud in one of my sessions, there was not a lot of good answers. It was like, well, that's what the market, that's the kind of industry standard. And then I'm going, there's an industry standard? I didn't know there was an industry standard because in my, I've got clients that charge anywhere from 75 basis points up to 2 points. I've got clients that charge anywhere from $1,000 for a financial plan up to $20,000 for a financial plan, who charge anywhere from a couple $100 a month retainer for like retainer-based financial planning, coaching, and consulting, all the way up to $1,500 a month for financial planning, coaching, and consulting. So again, what is the industry standard? Here's the reality. Your fee structure is really based upon what you think you are worth. Period. And this is the conversation. So when we start thinking about raising fees, and by the way, I'm going to make some blanket statements here, and some of you will agree, some of you may disagree. I believe most advisors undercharge for what you do. I believe you don't charge enough for financial planning. I believe you don't charge enough for asset management. I think the lower you are, the more commoditized you become. It's a psychology. Setting fees as an advisor is all about the man or woman in the mirror. It's got nothing to do with the market or industry standards or, oh, Joe, I'm in a small town. You don't understand. You can't do that in a small town. Bull. You do anything you want, anywhere. It's your game. But why don't we? Bottom line, fear, insecurity, not liking our self-identity, not appreciating the man or woman in the mirror every morning. And this is why your fees are such. If I look at clients of mine who have been raising, I have clients who are raising fees as we speak, raising fees. It's because they had a breakthrough in what they believe they are worth. And for most advisors, the easiest thing to do in a conversation with a prospect who has a fee question is to what? Cut the fee. That requires no effort or energy. It's just pure capitulation, right? So there's two ways, and we all know this, right? How do you grow a business? You either get more clients or you get more revenue from current clients. So more revenue in our vernacular usually has meant that we go get outside assets, maybe a financial planning agreement. We look for insurance opportunities if that's appropriate. But there's also another one. Raising fees. Going from 1% to 1.25. Going from 75 to a point. Going from 1.25 to 1.5. right? But the only way you're going to be able to pull that off, if you absolutely believe in your heart of heart, your gut of guts, you deserve it and you are worth it. So, what you need to think about inside of your own conversation about your own worth is that question. What am I worth? Do I deserve it? Because the biggest fear most human beings have is they don't deserve it and they're not good enough. So in this game, if you walk around with those two psychologies, you'll still make good money. You'll still be successful economically, if someone else you wouldn't be. But you're going to struggle from time to time. You're going to know that you're undercharging. And you know that you're worth more, but you're afraid to ask for it. Why? Because we have this relational insecurity inside of our game. Many advisors are so insecure in their client relationship. Look, and I get it, right? It's an at-will relationship, right? There's no one-year contracts or 5 years or anything like that. It's, hey, clients can come, clients go anytime they want. I have the same game. None of my clients are on a year deal or 6 month or 90 day. Every one of my clients is on a 30 day, which we renew. So I understand it, but you know what? How I got over my relational insecurity was to get very clear with myself on what I bring to the table, the results I produce, the value I bring. And look, and by the way, we have the same scenario here. You deal with wealth and money and financial planning, but you're also dealing with people, as I deal with advisors at a deep, deep, deep level. And the reality is, a big part of what we bring to the table is intrinsic, it's nebulous, it's somewhat undefinable, and that's the relational aspect of what we do. One of the things I tell all my personal clients is, hey, we're gonna speak, in this sequence in terms of scheduled, right, on Zoom. You're gonna have access to me through these various channels. But the most important thing that I offer you is that I have your back. When the stuff hits the fan and your assistant walks out or your number one client wants to fire you, I want to be that first phone call. I want to be that first text message. I want to be that first email. Because I'm going to have your back. Now, what's that worth? You take my nearly 30 years of expertise and bring it inside your game. See, all of us have got to understand that it's not about, financial planning is worth 20 basis points and risk management is worth 15 basis points and tax strategies are worth this, and cobbled together it's X. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. So I'm not saying that's inaccurate, but that's an academic concept. You still got to believe you're worth it. You still got to believe that you provide 10 times value. And some of you sit there and say, oh, now we're talking about alpha, Joe. Oh, I like alpha. I'm not talking about alpha. I'm not talking about alpha return. I'm talking about that at the end of the day that whatever you're paid, whether you're paid $5,000 a year, $5,000 a year by a client, or $50,000 a year, or if I've got clients that are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from their clients, that at the end of the day, the client feels they get a great value, they're well served, they know you have your back, and quite frankly, they know that you care. If you're looking at what you do as a service, you are screwed. If you're looking at what you do as a service, you will always be, in your mind, a commodity. If you're looking at your game as a service, you will never understand the true value of what you bring to the table. I've said this for many decades. An advisor is part of the troika, which is 3. Spiritual advisor, health advisor, financial advisor. And if you don't believe that you're that important to your clients, then you're missing the boat. What you do is critically important. What are the biggest 3 stressors most human beings have? Their spiritual future, their body, i.e. their health, and their economic well-being. Okay? Now, the spiritual side can be family also. So again, there's not a four. That will get looped into one. But we are one of the big three circles of life. And if you don't view what you do as that's why you struggle. If you're in this game to make some money and happen to have to deal with some people, then you will make some money, but you'll never be abundant. Because you will think you're a commodity because you view yourself as a commodity. What would happen in your game? Think about this. What would happen in your game if you said to yourself, you know what? I'm worth more than this. I know I provide way more value. And I need to go make sure that I'm economically compensated for it. Because remember, like what I said earlier today, right? There's two ways to grow a business. Get more clients, get more revenue from current clients. Now, getting new clients is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But understand that is not a free pass. You've got to go make sure you have staff, junior advisors, assistants to go handle all those new households. That may or may not be what you want to do. But wouldn't it be a better game to sit there and say, based on my world, here's what I want to make. Here's my top line goal, my bottom line goal, or my EBOC. And the question then becomes, what is the least amount of human beings / clients / households that I absolutely need to pull this off? So instead of undercharging 200 households, you charge 100 households properly, and you have the same amount of revenue with 50% less work. Gee, doesn't that sound pretty cool? And you know what? Some of you will put this on paper and get the calculator out and get on the whiteboard and map it all out, and you won't do it because you're afraid. Because you don't know you're worth it. This is one of the biggest challenges we have as an industry, is this concept that we don't know what we're worth, we don't know what we deserve, and then we listen to other experts or talking heads saying, "Oh, there's fee compression coming. Oh man, we're gonna get it down to 50 bips or 25 bips, or look what some of these robos are charging or Vanguard's charging." We're not in that business. We're not in that business. All right? It's just not the same. Okay? It'd be like saying that, hey, I'm going to be in the hamburger business, and I'm going to do these beautiful grass-fed beef, buffalo, Kobe beef burgers, but I'm going to compete with McDonald's on price. Who does that? Who would ever sign up to a business plan like that? But for some of you, that's exactly what you're doing. You're competing against somebody in a model that you don't have to compete against because you think that's your game. That is not your game. You're in the I care, I know who you are, you matter, I have your back, I'm going to be there for you. That is our business. That is not a robo-advisor. And if somebody wants that, God bless them, let them go have it. That ain't for us. And we need to get off this track of fee compression. I just don't see it. Like I said, my clients are raising fees, going up, because they understand the value, because they've got their mind right of what they're truly worth. Remember, your fee structure is a byproduct of your psychology, your self-worth, and what you believe you deserve. So if any of this made sense to you, go take some action. And if you want help, come join me in Magellan Network. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Have a great week. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.